Ro and Nasparad, and we are locking ourselves in here for map number 2. We are about to get right underway. We're not messing around here tonight. We're already into the pistol round, Evan. So let's see. We've got NUIG Griffins versus the UCC Rebels A team, and the map veto has already concluded. We're into the pistol, and UCC are going to be starting out on the CT side.
Looks like it's going to be some A push coming out from NUIG. They will get a fair bit of the outside control as they push up onto the bomb site. Red King will take out Sean A for the opening kill of the map. As the CTs now move in to retake, the bomb will go down. Salty will take out Red King as he tries to get aggressive towards the long position. Kurt will take one onto Darkness in trade in Hop Dog, and Tomas will get one onto Galaxy. Otto will spot out Paul OG and he will take him out. It's a 3 versus 2 now, the bomb ticking away. Thomas will get one onto One Hand Wonder, and Otto will close it out with a kill onto Kurt, and the defuse will come in. Plenty of time to spare as UCC pick up their first round.
Pretty clean pistol round, all things considered. It got a little bit dicey when the bomb went down, but to be fair, UCC didn't really look like they were under a huge amount of pressure. They made the correct decision, let the bomb go down, and they couldn't do much about that. And then they just sat back. They took the fights that were favorable for them, and they were able to get a very, very easy defuse off. NUIG will have the option to buy, though, due to that bomb plant, and that looks like that's what they're going to do, Evan. But just while we have a little bit of a lull here in this second round, would you be so kind as to take our viewers at home through the rosters?
Absolutely. Over on UCC, we have Otter, Salty Darkness, Tomas, and Sean, some of which are familiar faces from last year, particularly Otter, Darkness, and Tomas. I don't believe we've seen Salty or Sean on UCC before. Meanwhile, over on NUIG, an entirely new team. Paul OG, One Hand Wonder, Galaxy EJ, Red King, and Kurt. Big expectations for them tonight. I hope this will be a very entertaining game.
No expectations coming into this one, as UCC have obviously fielded some of these players before in the last Irish Collegiate Esports split, but NUIG, they do have a little bit of a question mark above their heads. How are they going to perform here? And if they are a newly formed roster, how much team play have they gotten together before this tournament started, Evan? As we've seen before, plenty of times where lesser skilled teams were able to beat out better opposition just based on their team play alone. And that's really what I'm going to be looking out for with NUIG.
Yeah, absolutely. It seemed they certainly had a very well thought out pistol take onto the A-bomb site. Although UCC were playing retake, they did manage to just get the site with that smoke grenade towards the Z connector, and they all pushed out with decent enough coordination. So it looks to me like they have done their homework, and hopefully that'll contribute towards this being an entertaining one. Looks like it's going to be a hit onto the B site now from NUIG. They actually have a favourable buy here after getting the bomb down, as Kurt will get the opening kill onto Salty as he pushes out the lower ramp. The bomb will go down, and UCC are playing retake again.
UCC are in a very tough spot here, as Red King will fall, and One Hand also takes the hit, bringing this down to a 3-on-3. Otter, Tomas, and Sean have to make this retake viable, but with 2 fast frags, leaving just Paul on his lonesome. They did have the superior buy, as you said, Evan, but unfortunately it looks like it's going to be a little bit too much for Paul, unless he can keep them distracted for just long enough. Pushing forward, Sean taking the rounds into his own hand, and that'll be a second retake in a row for UCC.
They seem to absolutely be prepared to let NUIG get that bomb down and just come in with a bang to retake the bomb site. It was very well played from Paul OG to get the first kill there. He was doing everything right for the second kill as well, but UCC, I think it was Salty had the idea, or maybe it was Sean, to push him, which was the right call in that situation. For UCC to pick up their second round of the evening. Now it's going to be a deco coming in from NUIG as they hope to just do some economy damage while building up some of their own. With 2 bomb plants, that shouldn't be too hard for them at the moment either.
Indeed, it will be. Early days yet. Neither team needs to be really too worried about giving up a round here or there. It is a best of 2, of course, so they will have a second chance on the next map. Kurt, oh dear. He's just ended Darkness's whole career before it could even get started. He's going to retrieve himself an M4. May opt to toss that over to one of his teammates, but given that he's still totally healthy with that crisp deagle shot, I don't think he's going to be too worried, and he's going to take that as his reward. Sean, on the other hand, will respond and take One Hand Wonder out of this round. Still could go either way. We've seen crazier things happen, Evan, in Irish collegiate esports games, especially when Deagles are involved. People tend to have that liquid courage almost when they've got the Deagle in their hand. They take much more riskier plays, and oftentimes it can catch the opposition off guard. Will it happen in this round, though? We're about to find out.
We are indeed, as the T's are looking like they are going to push out into the outside position to try and take the A bomb site. Otter will get the first gun to Curtin, followed up with another one to Paul LG. He will check Ivy, but the bomb will go down into default position. 2v, I spoke too soon, 1v3 now for Red King, as he will fall to the Galil of Thomas. And UCC will pick up their third round, their third retake in the third round of the game. Solid start to them. No criticisms in their comms, I imagine. But also respectable from NUIG. They've got the bomb down 3 times. They have a great buy here, and they have a solid economy to fall back on if things don't go in their favor.
Yeah, they've been consistently getting the bomb down, which is really good on the T side. It just gives you that extra bit of cash, whether it's for utility or for the decision to go for an eco like they did in the last round and now have a very, very solid buy here. I would argue that they probably got, if not on par, or a better buy, considering they bring in 4 AKs into this one. They've got everything they need, but this is the round that they have to turn up, Evan. Ball going through the smoke, almost finds a second, but it's only good for 1. Gets taken out by Otter, one of the standout players for UCC, and now Tomas has been activated. He's going to continue to take fights, and the repeat from NUIG is just not quick enough to shut down the CT Auber before he finds 2 kills. This leaves NUIG in a very tricky spot. They're down a man, they don't have the bomb in their possession, and Darkness smells a rat towards Pop Dog. He's going to find a couple of shots. He takes Red King down to 27, but not enough to convert the kill. He has dissuaded him from going for that bomb, however, and this looks like it might be another UCC round.
Indeed. Oh, and that it will be, as UCC, it's in perfect sync to take out the final 2 kills. I'll be pretty happy with that round. They didn't manage to retrieve any AKs, which is interesting, but nonetheless, they'll be very happy with that. They stopped the bomb going down. And they didn't take too much economy damage themselves, which is very important on the CT side of this map. The utility you need to hold control like they've been doing is substantial. So keeping players alive where possible is very important. But look at this now in NUIG. They have, again, a near perfect buy, which is the Galil onto Kurt.
No AWP available is going to hurt them slightly, especially when Tomas is going to have his one activated and ready to go. A double up setup for the Cork side. And as we pointed out before, of course, Otter and Tomas are the only 2 consistent players on this roster from last split. But Otter in particular, just speaking to him before the match started, he is a very, very big fan of Train. Expect to see him towards Ivy each and every round, especially when he's got at AWP in his hands. We expect him to put up big numbers in this first map. And what's interesting, Evan, is this was actually NUIG's map pick. So UCC coming into this one, they wanted to play Train, but then luckily for them, NUIG just decided to pick it for them. And that's obviously very unfortunate if you're on the Galway side. You can't know that coming into the pick ban phase, but UCC just must be delighted with themselves.
Yeah, that being said, it does have to kind of put a question in UCC's mind. How much of NUIG prepped for this? Are they as confident as them on Train? So far, they've managed to get the bomb down. 3/4 of the rounds played. I think they're comfortable on this map too, and I think that's gonna make this an interesting one, Jason.
I think so too. Otter is playing with fire, so to speak, and Paul punishes him for it. There's the first kill to go back in favor of NUIG, and now they've been activated onto the B-bomb site. Kurt coming in with a big open and frag. A tough job to do, but he manages to get the crisp headshot to allow them to get yet another bomb plant down, Evan, but they've got 8 seconds left. They are really leaving last to no one here. Kurt also finding another frag. That's his second under his belt in the round. Salty and Sean, this might be the first round for NUIG. There was a question mark above them at the start of this map. Would they be able to put these full buys to use? And now is the time. Is Kurt gonna go for more? He will tag Salty down to 48 and eventually convert and make good on the damage, leaving Sean in a 1 versus 4. He finds the first kill, but I think he's just gonna save, and UCC know how difficult it is to get that CT side economy rolling, and Sean knows that bringing an AK forward is better than trying any heroics on the B-bomb site.
That was some excellent entry fragging there from Kurt as he got that crisp headshot onto Darkness and followed it up with 2 more. I think he's either having a very good game or he's a player we're going to have to keep our eyes open for. Currently sitting at 8 kills and 4 deaths. He is top fragging the server and has more kills than everybody else on his team combined. So he's having a star of a game right now.
Yeah, he has been the difference maker, and he's the reason that they got so cleanly onto the B bomb site, Evan. That was a huge performance, and now he fancies himself as an AWPer. Going to be playing a different role in this round, unless we're going to see something interesting. That's a nice little pop flash, and a shot from the smoke. Otter, he will be thinking about that one twice going forward. A beautiful shot from Kurt. It was the perfect storm. The flashbang went off, the smoke went down, and he could take that peak risk-free. A huge shot from Kurt, but they're not out of the woods yet. Still down to a 4-on-4. Flashbang will force one off the angle into main, and Kurt is there again. Such a dynamic AWPer. We haven't seen him with the sniper in his hands too much, but he's putting it to good use, and he's making a good claim for the primary AWPer on this team, Evan.
He absolutely is. He picked it up one round earlier in the half, but Thomas put him to bed pretty quickly into the round, but there's no op now on the CT side, and I think that's Kurt's ideal scenario here, as he's just going to lead the charge with the op as he walks out of A main. Only one player now on the A bomb site, and one's going to be pushing up long. Paulo-G might spot him out here. He does spot him. Molotov will stop him from falling back as One Hand Wonder takes out Salty through the smoke onto the site. That's just going to leave Darkness to rotate in as Tomas gets his head ripped off from Paulo-G. What a duo between Paulo-G and Kurt right now, as One Hand Wonder will trade out his teammate as Darkness does get one kill but will fall for NUIG's second round on the board now.
That was really smart play from the NUIG team. I think it was Paulo-G who was out towards the Ivy position, and he just kept Tomas's attention for so long that he didn't even realize two other NUIG players were walking towards the bomb site, and then Tomas stuck in an awkward position. There was no winning there, right? Like, he either takes the fight and gambles on losing against an AK, or he goes back towards the site, and then he dies to Paul, who's just going to swing him and peek him. That was really well executed from NUIG, and now, Evan, I'm beginning to believe that you might be right. I think NUIG are coming into this one prepared, and UCC have definitely got a game on their hands. Paul, what was that? How have you gotten away with those two frags? Sean and Salty gone down. Red King has got the Pro 90, and now he's been activated. Oh dear, this was looking like a UCC game just a few moments ago, but now NUIG have come into their own.
This is some incredible play. What am I watching? Jesus. Kurt popping off, Paul OG popping off. This is some great Counter-Strike we're watching here. And that's NUIG's third round on the T side. For a lot of team compositions on Train, that's enough on your T side. You can chill for the rest of the half if you're one of those CT based teams, which a lot of teams are in the current meta. 12-3 halves are pretty common on this map. So NUIG, I'd go so far as to say, although they are one round behind, they're in the driving seat of this game right now. But this is going to be a full buy coming out from UCC. So let's see if they can take some round control back off of NUIG. There will be Kurt still opping, hoping to catch an aggressive player up in the upper B position. Otter holding out his long. He will buff the flash a little bit, but that's okay. He's got himself smoked off. Looking like it's just going to be a nice spread of a default for NUIG as they see if they can poke a hole anywhere in UCC's defense.
Seems to be the case. Otter will flash himself forward just to check it. Definitely knows one towards Ivy, but does he recognize there was a second player there? He's going to back off now. The flashbang is going to allow NUIG on the T side to peek that again, but Otter, look at his positioning now, Evan. He's moved all the way back. He is nowhere near the front of Ivy. He realizes that he's got to give respect to this NUIG setup, and that he will. 4 players towards the A site though. They can collapse very, very quickly, leaving Darkness all on his own as the B site anchor. No pressure on him for now, but the NUIG team have left it very, very late on the clock. The smoke will allow them to get through Ivy, and they've got control of Pop Dog too, but they've got to be clinical with this approach to the site. They have to start landing frags, and there's 3 all at once. No trade from Sean, who could catch them off guard, but just didn't land the shot when it mattered most. The bomb has gone down, and that's going to be a 4-4. Unless Darkness pulls something absolutely insane out of the bag. I don't even think he wants to go for this one.
I highly doubt he's going to want to go for this one. That was very unfortunate for UCC, where their util was balanced. They had all the utility they could ever ask for over towards the B bomb site. And when NUIG were hitting the A bomb site with the entire US military's worth of utility, there was no Molotovs, no smokes, no counter flashes ready to come in and help them out. I didn't realize it was actually so much of a close buy from the CT side this round. But that will be a 4th round now for NUIG, tying up the scoreline with, again, some awe-inspiring shots coming out in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I blinked and all of a sudden there was 3 kills in favour of the T side. NUIG Griffins have shown that they deserve to be in this game just as much as UCC do. And I think the main point I want to look out for next, Evan, is are UCC going to adapt to this? They've changed their setup slightly. We've seen a different position from Otter. He's playing more passively now, weary of taking these fights down towards Ivy. But other than that, since they put 4 rounds on the board early on, which were all defuses, we have to bear that in mind, NUIG have been in the driver's seat of this game since then. We're almost 10 rounds in, and this could still go either way, but it's going to be about the CT side. Can they adapt? Can they figure out the setup? Oh dear, what a shot from Otter. Can he follow it up with a second? His job is well and truly done, finding just one, realizing there has to be another player here. Tomas getting very, very ballsy with that repeak. Galaxy was only on 6 HP, but he's not going to be aware of that information. A very limited buy from the CT side. And like I said, Evan, they need to adapt to how NUIG are playing Train, because NUIG have figured it out. They figured out the setup. They know how to get onto the site, let the CTs burn out most of their utility, wait until there's 40 seconds or less left, and then go all in and land your shots. How are UCC going to come back into this one?
That's a very good question. And UCC are actually, I imagine they're finding themselves in an even more unfortunate position, because they have to realize that the 3 rounds they won, one was a pistol round, and the other 2 were when NUIG were... Well, one of the rounds, to be fair, NUIG did have a decent enough buy, but one was a full eco round, and they still managed to get the bomb down. When NUIG have rifles, UCC, on their retakes, are not going to be as strong, and they need to play around that. Perhaps they need to be more aggressive in holding the site and not give it up. See how that works out for them. But it looks like it's going to be a retake coming out from NUIG. One Hand Wonder will get one to Sean, but Otter will pick up 2, and Darkness will pick up 1 onto Kurt. And suddenly it's a 1v4 for Red King and NUIG. With only 7 seconds left on the clock, he's going to opt to save that AK-47. What an eco round for UCC.
That was something else. I mean, Otter fired about 4 bullets with that Deagle and picked up 2 kills. That's absolutely absurd. And again, NUIG had all the pieces to the puzzle to win that round, just like they did the round prior. But this is something I think everybody, including ourselves, Evan, are going to have to keep an eye on. Is this strat of leaving it until there's kind of 30, 35 seconds left before deciding what site to finish on, is that going to come back to bite them? Because if UCC play it properly, they take it passively, and they allow the clock to run down, it can just cause absolute chaos on the bomb site. Everybody who's played Counter-Strike knows what it's like. It's a frantic rush onto the site, and one person dying at the wrong time can just completely throw the round for you. NUIG, it's worked for them so far. They have even the scoreline, but will they be able to continue this form?
You're absolutely right. And one thing you said there was very important to note, that NUIG have been playing a lot of these rounds very slow. And when UCC are playing retake like they are, they're preserving their utility, which means late rounds, they're going to be very, very deadly. Although NUIG will easily enough grab that round back from UCC, who had the economic advantage going into that. And now look at their economy. It's going to take a hard bit of work to break that. Over on UCC, not too bad either. They should be able to get a decent buy here. 5-5 on the score as we go into round number 11. Op coming out on both sides. Sean on UCC now trying his hand on it. And Kurt still holding on to it for NUIG. Let's see, is this another matchup that we can keep note of? Sean will get the opening kill onto One Hand Wonder. Very quick shot coming out from him.
Critical shot to hit as well. He needed to land that and not give up the fight. He's been tagged through the smoke, but as we said before, his job is done. He's found the first kill. He can just sit back and play nice and passive, use the support of his teammate there. He will actually, I think he went down through the smoke. It looked like Tomas goes up the ladder and finds a kill with the AUG. What is going on? Looks like a deathmatch server here in round number 11. It's 5-5. Both teams evened up. But in this round, UCC do have the advantage. NUIG need to find some footing to get back into this one. And just look at their positioning on the map. They've got no map control. The players on the CT side are positioned perfectly to defend any sort of attack onto the site. There's 50 seconds left in the round. It looks like they do want to take control of Pop Dog, but as each second ticks by, there's more of the map that they need to be wary of, more of the map that they could have a flank from the CT side on, and they're making this very difficult for themselves. NUIG need to land their shots, and they're going to send Galaxy out on his own. Evan, this is falling apart for the T side.
This is, I think UCC have just uncovered something here. If they play aggressive on their CT side, that really, really messes up NUIG's default hold, because on a default, you are very, very spread out. If the CTs have concentrated aggression in a certain place, it's free frags. As Darkness gets one into Red King, Polo G will get the first kill, but he's found himself now in a 1 versus 3. He will get that bomb down, but the CTs are quickly closing in. And look, they're already on the bomb site, ready to trade him out. Polo G gets the first on Tomas. He does spot out another player towards Gas. And I think he's heard Otter as well, walking up on the left-hand side. Oh, but he might get timinged here. Otter walking around the bomb site should see the back of Paul here. As he does, he will finish out the round. Excellent round from UCC there. They switched it up, they played aggressive, they got the opening kills, and NUIG were left a little disgruntled as a result of it.
Indeed. UCC do claw back a 1-round advantage, but credit where credit's due. Paul almost pulled off the impossible in that 1 versus 3, and that was a slight oversight in the retake from the CT side. Otter moving a little bit too far forward, and especially when his teammate has an AWP, it's very easy for him to miss a shot in that kind of scenario, and then it comes down to a 1-on-1. So they do get away with it this time, but obviously need to be careful going forward if they are in a similar position. I mean, Sean is just going to land that shot again. I have nothing to say about it. You take the same peak again. Comes down to the 50-50, and Sean was faster in this round. NUIG, they have had to dig deep into their economy for this round. Kurt's down to 1,500. Red King only $50 left in reserve. And a Mac 10 for Galaxy, which, I mean, considering One Hand Wonder has got 5,000 in spare, I'm not really sure why they didn't go for the AKs again. Maybe he was going for some sort of strategy here towards Pop Dog, but for now, UCC have the advantage, and on the CT side, they do have the benefit of being able to sit back and play it a little bit more passively. AWP still active on Sean. They can reposition where they need to. And this should be another UCC round, but NUIG could frag out, and they could pull themselves back into this one. The timing's just not quite there for Paul.
Oh, spoke too soon as he takes out Otto with a very nice shot. Interesting to note as well, NUIG know that they have a spare AK over towards Long, but they haven't gone to reclaim it yet, as Paulo G did drop his AK to pick up that off. No matter, it looks like they're going to be moving towards the B-bomb site now, where there are 2 CT players lying in wait. We have Salty and Darkness. A pretty solid setup, Salty holding towards Heaven. He will spot one player just holding W out, and he will get the frag, but he'll be traded out by Red King, and Darkness will get the kill back onto Red King, and Paul OG will take him down. A 2v2 now, as the bomb should go down here on the B bomb site with just seconds to spare. Tomas bides his time slowly. He will get a kill onto Galaxy, who seems to just be trying to pick up a weapon there, but Paul OG's in a 1 versus 2, stuck on default. This should be a very difficult one for him to win now. And Tomas doing the right thing. He's just going to jump, keep as mobile as possible, make it as hard as possible for Polo G to be looking in the right space, as he will land that headshot and pick up a second up for UCC. This is much better from UCC now. They seem to have taken back control of this half. I'd say now they'd be happy with the 10-5. But that being said, NUIG are probably also happy with the 10-5.
Indeed, especially when they've started on the more difficult side of the map. Even finding 5 rounds on the Train T side is nothing to scoff at. This is a good performance from NUIG, and some of these rounds have been very, very close. 1 or 2 kills either way. We could be looking at a very different scoreline. I can't count how many times I've seen someone take that peek, whether it's Kurt or Paul OG, and they land the shot each and every time. This map really seems to be the battle of the AWPers so far, and it's been back and forth, but is Otter going to land a return shot now? Yes, he will. Another shot from Ivy. Going in favor of the UCC captain to even it out. Tomas will take one on with the AUG. Otter responds. And all of a sudden, NUIG now a man down yet again. They've got to claw their way back into this round. But look at this push. Like you said, Evan, this aggression on the CT side seems to catch NUIG out. The CT side are done with being passive early on, and they're going to take that map control where possible. That's, in my eyes anyway, what really separates a good team from a great team. It's knowing when you can push forward, especially on the CT side, and just shut down any sort of a flank or a decoy when it comes to what bomb site the T side are going towards. NUIG have been found out in this round, and UCC picked this up. They'll have won the half.
Yeah, I do agree. Especially from UCC there. They went one man down at the very start as Polo G landed that frag onto Sean. But they recognized man disadvantage. Okay, we need to make something happen here. NUIG have all the cards. We need to, nab one out of their hands. And so they did, and they started to play aggressive back. They took that peek from on top of on top of Green Train, peeking into main. Otter picked up 2 lovely kills with the AWP in response, one onto Kurt. And from that, it was just smooth sailing. Their team were already in they had enough map control in that outside position to just frag out against NUIG, and now Polo G is just left with holding on to the AWP as we move into the last round of this half. Will be a pause coming out from NUIG. Perhaps they try to assess what is going wrong, but their money isn't looking too good right now. Meanwhile, over on UCC side, they're pretty comfortable financially.
Indeed, it seems to be the case. The CT side has definitely built up that little bit of a buffer that they need. There's only 2 rounds left, so again, they're going to consider all their options when speaking about their economy and what guns they want to bring into each round. The double up setup seems to be preferred for UCC. Whenever they have it available, they seem to go for it. But what's interesting is how they've passed the ops around. Sean has picked it up, Otter, Salty. We've seen Tomas even pick up the op from time to time. It seems like everybody on the team is relatively comfortable with the op in their hands, whereas NUIG, they've kind of done the same. Kurt has picked it up, Paul OG has picked it up, they've seen him bring it towards Ivy, they've taken it into Team Main. I really think Train is coming down to the battle of the uppers. Who's going to be faster on the trigger? And in this case, it will be Paul. Oh dear, he's just gone for a second. Tomas and Salty both on the receiving end of the NUIG sniper. And now Sean responds. Z is not coming out of this round yet. And Otter through the smoke takes the counterpart out on NUIG. Up or down, Kurt needs to find form with the Deagle, and he's going to retrieve himself an M4, but can they get the bomb back? They brought it down to a 2-on-2. This would be a huge round for NUIG to pick up. Darkness is looking at his teammate for some reason, not sure why, but doesn't get punished for it. They've managed to get themselves back, and Darkness has been spotted out. Ooh, shot's not going to connect through E-Box. This round is going to come down to the wire. 60 seconds left, but they decide to take the fight anyway. Otter has turned up, and he switches back to the AWP. Such a dynamic player towards Ivy, and you absolutely love to see it. One hand wonder, limited in options, doesn't have any Kevlar for some reason, and up in hand, he might just decide to bring this forward into the last round of the half. But that is a fantastic comeback from the UCC lineup, as eventually he does fall. But credit where credit's due. There were some absolutely nuts opening shots there from Team Main, but the response from UCC, they did not crumble under the pressure, and that's what you want to see if you're a CT side on Train.
Absolutely. You mentioned NUIG like to throw the up around a lot, with Paul OG using it and Kurt using it. I'm hoping we might see a double up set up on their CT side as well. I think that could make this really, really interesting. I would love to see how UCC would respond to that. Oh my god! Paul OG lands the wallbang onto Tomas, leaving him at 3 HP. That was actually... Yeah, Tomas was actually pushing out from the spot. He just got really, really unfortunate that actually hit him. That's incredible. As we move into the last round of the half, 9 rounds for UCC, 5 rounds for NUIG. Otter will finish off. Not finish off, sorry. He will take Paul out, as it is Tomas that is left low. Looks like it's going to be a smoke execute coming out into the outside position as Galaxy gets tagged up from on top of Red Train. Flashes are coming through and the T's are pushing out. Otter going for the aggressive pick. He will take out Galaxy. Spots 2 more towards the E-Box position. They're going to be pushing up towards the bomb site now. Red King now on site, spots Salty, takes him out. And now it's just Otter left on the bomb site to try and get 3 kills here. The bomb will go down. And Otter still behind the bomb train. He will land a leg onto Red King, but Red King will take him out for his 2nd kill of the round. One hand wonder, does a 180, but Darkness is there. He's too quick. left on only 19 HP now. He will peek out of Pop Dog and be dropped by Kurt. And Sean with the AWP finds himself in a 1 versus 2. Almost ticking away. He will find his way onto the bomb site, but Red King is already behind him. 3 kills for him in the round, and that'll be 9-6 at halftime for UCC.
Solid performance from both sides, I think is fair to say. Even looking at the round differential, it's been very, very back and forth, but pretty streaky play from both teams. You know, we see both sides putting together 4 rounds in a row at one point. UCC obviously did it twice, but nevertheless, they were on the CT side, and I think they're going to be feeling happy with 9 rounds on the CT side, but I think they would have liked to at least hit double digits. It's going to tell a lot about the pistol round and the opening couple of rounds of this half, Evan, but NUIG are by no means down and out from Train. I mean, often we've seen teams have, like you said, a 12-3 scoreline from the CT side and then come back and still make it a very, very close affair. That CT side can be absolutely crucial, and these first few rounds are going to tell a huge amount as to the outcome of this game.
Absolutely, I completely agree. UCC are probably going to be quite quick to the trigger to buy here to just try and get into double digits ahead of NUIG. As they rush out onto the B bomb site, NUIG will give it up, but One Hand Wonder rips the head off of Sean as the bomb goes down, and the retake is already coming in as Kurt lands a kill onto Salty. He will clear gas, but there's nobody there. 1 player left on site. Kurt takes him out. 1 more towards White Train. As Tomas gets killed into One Hand Wonder, Red King will spot out the player in heaven, but Otter responds with one of his own. 2 versus 2. Tomas with the 180 onto Galaxy and the second onto Kurt. What was that from Tomas? For the incredible 1 versus 2 from him for his 3k in that round. That is exactly what UCC need right now.
That was an absolute clown fiesta on the B site. There was just players running left, right and centre. Otter takes a fight against a USP from heaven and wins it somehow. Absolute scenes on the B bomb site, and I don't know if UCC realised this, but they got away with absolute murder in that pistol round, Evan. It was looking so good. It looked like NUIG were going to do the repeat of what the Cork side did to them in the first half. You know, play it safe, just let the bomb go down, play the retake, we got man advantage, you know, kind of the typical ordeal. But for some reason, the chaos that ensued was absolutely not what you want to see if you're the CT side. And now look at this buy. They've got 2 AKs, they've locked them out with the util, the bomb has gone down, it's already ticking down, they're up against USPs. This should be another round, and it looks like it's shooting fish in a barrel for Tomas and Sean, as there's another one farming cash with the SMG just to make it that little bit sweeter. And Galaxy, he'll try and go for some exit frags, try and find a weapon if he can, but this is looking like a fantastic start from UCC.
This is exactly what UCC could have hoped for and more, getting the bomb down both times and holding on to nearly all their weapons in that last round, as well as a bunch of SMG kills with those deadly MAC-10s. For their 11th round, they could not have asked for a better situation. Their economy is built up now, so that if they lose this first buy round, they could still buy up next round. Sean is going to opt to hold on to the MAC-10, so he's probably going to be running out first here. I wonder, will we see a fast strat towards the A-bomb site? Looks like long control will be contested by Polo G with that aggressive Molotov. Will keep Otter from pushing all the way out. Also worth noting, 3 M4s of FAMAS and 1 AWP with no armor on Kurt. He's feeling pretty confident with that right now, I imagine.
It seems to be the case, and I'm a big fan of that. You know, I like it when, whether you're on the T side or the CT side, especially when you're in the back foot, and you see someone say, you know what, lads, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to just go glass cannon, give me the up, I'll land a kill. You know, at best, we pick up a frag or 2, at worst, we stick me beside someone and we trade kills if it comes to it. Keep the op alive, bring it into the next round. I think it's a very, very high risk, high reward play, especially when you've already lost 2 rounds. But on the other side, it can really, really set you back on the CT side, because all it takes is 1 missed shot just like that to get punished, but he swings wide again and gets away with it. Kurt putting that glass cannon AWP to use. The Molotov will lock them back, and the bomb is about to go down with 32 seconds left on the clock.
Another good point. Oh, sorry. Interrupted by Sean landing a nutty shot onto One Hand Wonder. And he will get a bit of tagging done onto the second player there as well. So this is a 2 versus 3 in NUIG's favour. Polo G will switch to the AK. And tap the bomb, see if he can bait out a peek. does not have a kit. As Sean gets one onto Kurt, the Red King trades him out. Otto will find Polo G, and it's now a 1 versus 1. He spots the last player. The clock is ticking away, and there is no kit in sight. He will swing out an easy frag for Otter. Clinical.
That is...
That is...
something. That's something.
That's what you like to see from UCC. That's very well played. Winning that first buy round is going to be huge for them moving forward because it's forced NUIG onto the back foot now, not just economically, but also they need to start getting rounds on the board.
You know, this is something that we often talk about when it comes to Counter-Strike and the economy game. There's only so many times you can eco. Eventually, you do just have to throw caution to the wind and say, you know what, lads, we don't have a perfect buy, but we've got to get Khalils, we've got to get SMGs, we have to start winning rounds, we have to do something to stop the bleeding because they're absolutely hemorrhaging at the moment. Tomas finds 1 kill, Darkness tries his hand now, they know they're not up against a fantastic buy. They'll afford a trade if necessary to make sure they take all of these NUIG players out. Don't let them keep any weaponry. Otter is there, he knows they're going to be coming from behind and he expects the second player. That noise should give Paul away. With just a CZ in hand, there's not a huge amount he can do. UCC are not hunting for kills, they're playing passive. They're going to make sure that bomb timer ticks down. They're not going to pull a G2 versus Astralis or anything like that. And they're going to make sure they get that 13th round. And Evan, just a few moments ago, this was a 9-6 scoreline. Now, UCC are only 3 rounds away from the first map here in this series.
I know, it's been an incredible showing from UCC just in the early of the second half. It could not have gone better for them, winning the pistol round. Tomas with that incredible 3k 1 versus 2, and just cleaning up the rounds after that. Worth noting, actually, that glass cannon on Kurt in that first buy round we saw from NUIG, while it was a very good decision, it was slightly more risky because they knew that UCC had farmed a lot of SMG money, so it was quite likely that the running MAC-10s and the likes would continue to come out, and it did, and I think it played against the risky decision to buy that glass cannon. It didn't play out in their favour. But now, coming into round number 20, it's going to be a full buy across the board with both teams with AWPs. That being said, Tomas has his removed from his hand as Polo G snipes him from the top of the train.
And that's a really good point to make as well, that it was a risky play, but it just kind of comes back to that point we were just talking about, Evan. As they push the B side, eventually you do just have to take these risks. You've got to say, look, it hasn't been working out so far. Doing the defaults on the CT side, just hoping that the setup works, is not going our way. Someone has to take the game into their own hands, because that's how it goes from a 9-6 scoreline to a 13-6 in the blink of an eye, is when you just keep saying, no, it'll work this round, it'll work this round. Eventually, you find yourself on match point, and that's what NUIG could be up against here, unless they figure out some sort of system. But their time is running out, and it's running out very, very quickly. There's another shot from Otter. Is he going to pull it off again? Is he going to make the dream work here on the A bomb side? He's got the bomb. Smoke goes down. Oh, and he just spots him out. He realizes now where One Hand Wonder is. Captain versus Captain, and he's going to move out at the wrong moment. That was an interesting decision from Otter, putting it nicely. And I think he might have thought One Hand Wonder had actually moved away from Ebox.
Yeah, I don't think he actually saw him as he looked away. We saw it in GoTV, but perhaps it wasn't on Otter's end. But that is big from NUIG. That is a gifted round to them, and they will take them all day long. Close though it may have been, it may be the key for them to get back into this match.
And just looking at the economy now as well, although Tomas will need a weapon dropped, UCC will still have a significant advantage in this round, whether it's just money left over or weaponry going forward. There it is, Evan. There's the double op setup from the CT side. It's going to be on One Hand and Paulo G. They've both been performing well, but interestingly enough, Kurt, who has been having a great game, is on the SMG, which is an interesting decision, but they've obviously got their strat figured out. How are they going to implement it, as the first kill does not go their way, or the second? Darkness, beautiful peek, crisp, clean crosshair placement will allow them to get a second kill, and there's another. The ops are falling, the whole house is falling down around NUIG, and there's not much they can do about it. The bomb is down. This should be another UCC round.
That was very, very well played from UCC. Their positioning was exemplary. whatever fight NUIG took there was always two UCC players on their screen, which is just a dream come true for pushing out onto a bomb site. Because you don't know where those CTs are realistically when you're pushing out. So to have the overwhelming vision of two opposing players on your screen when you peek something is absolutely what UCC should always strive for on the attacking side, and it's worked out for them perfectly here. 3 clean kills, only 2 bullets landed onto the whole of UCC, and they get a free bomb plant and a free round to get them to their 14th round. And coming into round number 22, NUIG's economy is really not looking so good. I think we're going to see at least 2 FAMASs here, and UCC are just rolling in the cash right now.
Yeah, at this point, I want to see something wacky from NUIG. I want to see them pull something weird out of the bag. They've got SMGs. They did manage to at least bring one up forward, but if they'd picked up that second one, they could have gone for maybe a more standard buy. Just the one AWP, it's going to be on one hand wonder yet again. Good trade as Otter takes out Galaxy. Red King is there with the response, and this is much more like it now. The second player not opting to fall into Top Dog from UCC. That could have been a little bit of miscommunication, but Darkness is there to make up for it. Kurt goes down, and now Red King happy to take the fight, bringing it down to a 2-on-3. UCC down a man, and they still have yet to make their way onto the bomb site. They do have the bomb on the back of Otter. He's going to be carrying it with the AWP, but they really need NUIG to slip up, and that could just be it. Tomas and Otter, dynamic duo with just over 60 seconds remaining. Is One Hand really going to push through that smoke? Oh dear, he is smoke criminal, but Paul OG now is in a very tricky scenario. Otter and Tomas have just brought it from a 2-on-3 down to a 1v2. Is Paul going to be able to get the job done, Evan? I'm not quite sure, but there's the first frag. He's going to peek out. Very risky here up against Tomas with the superior weapon. Flashbang out. He's going to peek forward. This is very nice movement from Paul, but the bomb is slowly ticking down. His time is limited. Tomas, he can play this however he wishes, but he's going to get timing as he looks away. And that was just a little bit of indecisiveness from Tomas. What a performance from Paul OG in that round.
Absolutely. If you're Paul OG in that scenario, the 2 players you do not want to be going up against on UCC is Otter and Tomas, the 2 players that have just been popping off. And fair play to Sean as well. He's also been doing huge bits. But Paul OG was able to make it work, and that was a very, very smart play to push out with that flash, not to get aggressive and take the pick, but to reposition and leave I believe it was Otter in the more difficult position. Very, very well played from him. Hopefully NUIG can capitalize off this now and get a couple of rounds in response. They do have a very solid buy, although they are slacking a little bit in the utility. It's only the 2 smokes on them. Meanwhile, over on UCC, they have, again, the entire US arsenal of the military power and utility. One Hand Wonder gets significantly tagged down through that upper sort of panel B ramp. And a lot of UCC now are gathered in upper B.
This is a scary situation to be in if you're NUIG, because you're starting to come back into the game, but unfortunately for them, they've left it so long that they really can't afford to make any mistakes. Oh dear, Red King, he's not even going to know where he got shot from, Evan. One Hand Wonder, he's also very low, and look at the spacing and the timing from UCC. That's absolutely beautiful. No matter who he decides to take the fight with there, he's going to go down in a very exposed position. UCC, they have the communication down, and this is something I talked about very, very early on in this match. How much team play have NUIG put together versus this UCC roster? Because it's spacing and positioning like that is the difference, especially on the T side, coming out knowing that at least if you die, someone's going to be there to trade the kill, and that was flawlessly executed by UCC.
That was an incredible boost. I was just stuck with my mouth open for a solid 30 seconds there. The confidence to not only go for that boost, but also to be so sure that your team are covering the exposed angles like the rest of ramp and the long push. That is perfect CS from UCC. That's what we just love to see here in the casting desk. And that is going to be the 15th round for UCC. Match point. With only 8 rounds for NUIG, they need to make something happen here to stay in this. And they're going to have one of the roughest buys we've seen in this game so far. UCC, again, rolling in the cash. 5 smokes, nearly 10 flashes, all Molotovs, an AWP, 4 AKs. They could not have it better right now.
Oh, Salty, he hasn't had many frags in this game, but he could start farming a little bit of money here. Oh, runs out of ammo, needs to be bailed out. Otter, he's missed 2 shots, very uncharacteristic. And now he's been tagged up by that Desert Eagle. UCC are in the lead, but they don't need to take unnecessary risks. NUIG will be trying to swarm the AWPer down as much as possible, but they can't close the gap in time. And now they are down a man yet again as they move on to the B site. The bomb is making its way over. Paul OG has an imposter among us as he finds a frag and an upgrade in weaponry. Can he be the difference maker yet again? And there's One Hand Wonder. He's been activated. This is a little bit overzealous from UCC. They've left the bomb planter all alone. They've taken way too much ground. They haven't cleared out the entire site. If I'm in comms with UCC now, I'm going to be fuming. Who doesn't clear the full site, especially when they have the man advantage? And now Darkness, there's very little he can do in this round. He doesn't have the bomb. He doesn't have time. And he's practically out of utility as well. This should be an NUIG round.
That was very unfortunate from UCC, but also very well played from NUIG. They took that initial long contact, and while UCC focused on holding that, NUIG just took map control elsewhere, and that enabled One Hand Wonder to just play around on that B bomb site. And UCC just kind of got caught very, very spread out, no trade potential, very unlike that other round where they were just pushing out on A, and there was just the duos everywhere. But that being said, NUIG still have a lot of work to do, and UCC still are in the driving seat here.
Teetering on the brink of oblivion is NUIG right now, as unfortunately for them, they have shown signs of life, Evan. They've really looked like they have figured out this system. They know what they want to do on the CT side, but the problem is they don't have the economy and they don't have the rounds to play with either. They have to go flawlessly for the next 6 rounds in a row just to even have a chance at overtime. And the odds are not in their favor. They haven't got the money in the bank. They don't have the weaponry or the utility that they want. Kurt in particular is very, very lacking here. And UCC know this. They know that they don't really have to panic. The pressure is on NUIG to make something happen. And we know how unpredictable people can be, especially in that stress scenario, in the pressure cooker. Who's going to slip up first? And unfortunately for NUIG, they don't have any mistakes left in the bank.
Exactly. And pressure is one thing NUIG are surely feeling slightly more so than UCC. Bringing an entirely new roster into this game, showing the Irish collegiate esports what they can do. Although they are losing by 6 rounds here, I'm quite impressed by what I've seen from NUIG, particularly the likes of Paul OG and Kurt. They've been doing huge parts for the team, and even One Hand Wonder in the latter rounds there. But coming into this round now, Sean will land a kill to Paul OG through the smoke. Galaxy trades him out. Red King gets one into Darkness as Salty pushes up into Ivy. He catches Kurt looking the other direction, but time is low, and there is still a CT player playing around the bomb site. He just has to get this kill, but the bomb goes down!
I can't believe it.
Galaxy, that was so unfortunate. And that's just One Hand Wonder left in a 1 versus 3. With the AWP, he will get the kill onto Tomas, leaving a very low Otter and a full HP Salty now to hold off against this AWP. One Hand Wonder has been playing lights out the last couple of rounds. Let's see if he can keep it up now. He will get tagged down by Salty, and that will be the map for UCC. 1-0-16-9 for the UCC hit side here on the map 1 of 2. And what a game that was, Cardinal.
Yes, what a game indeed. And we will be going over to Mirage as our second map. UCC taking the pole position here in this series, 1-0 up as we go on to map number 2 in just a moment. So lots to talk about, Evan, but we are going to throw it to a quick break and we'll be back just before the start of map number 2 in just a moment, ladies and gents. So don't go anywhere and we'll be back before you know it.
Now that I've been long gone, have you missed me at all? The road home shatters and I feel the pressure of direction taking over me. If I'm moving through space in an endless night, it's you that set me free. I believe there's a place where I belong, and you do too. It's not far away. If only it were true. I believe that the waves won't take me down when I'm not alone. I cannot come back this time. I'm not coming home.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything else in between, to NURG versus UCC Map 2. It's going to be Mirage here as we come into the second map of the best of two tonight, the final game of the evening. From what we've seen from these two teams, this should very much be a very good game. UCC did win the first match 16-9, but NURG, there were some stages there where they looked like they knew which end of the gun to be pointing at UCC. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I saw signs of life from NUIG, and we saw some moments of magic, you know. It definitely wasn't a one-sided affair, even though sometimes you might think that particular scoreline from Train was kind of one-sided. I don't think that tells the full story. There was a lot of rounds that came really down to the wire, and, you know, a couple of kills either way, and it could have been a totally different ordeal altogether. UCC were very lucky that going into the T side, they put themselves on 14, 15 rounds very, very quickly due to stringing multiple rounds back to back. But it was just unfortunate, I think, that NUIG really were up against the wall very early on in that second half. They were really struggling to get their economy together. They were really, really struggling just to even find some momentum on the CT side. And we never truly saw them on a solid buy. You know, we never saw them build up that 4,000 or 5,000 in the bank like UCC did on their CT side. And I think that was what ultimately gave the map over to UCC. But with that in mind, Evan, we are underway for map number 2. It's going to be Mirage, and we're already into the pistol.
Looks like it's going to be a quick rush B, no stop coming out from UCC. Polo G is going to go for the early peak as UCC slow it down. Going to play for some B contact, I think. Polo G will spot out the first one and get a crisp headshot into darkness. He will re-peek, and he will be dinked in response. But the rotate will come in as UCC flood out the site. Kurt, filthy headshot into Sean. He will very nearly get a second one, but Salty with one and Otto with one of his own. Red King takes out Salty. Polo G gets one, and Thomas gets one, and now it's just Thomas left in a 1 versus 2. He dinks Galaxy there. I'm not sure how. It looked like he wasn't even on the screen. But Red King will be creeping in from short. Moss now, he's got all the work to do for his team here. And UIG are just going to play it slow, passive, and wait for Tomas to make the first move. He'll spot out the short player. That was what I thought was going to probably be his downfall, but now that he's aware of that, he can play around to it. He will get a bit of a tag onto it. He wants that market peak though. If he can get that, he'll be in a very, very good spot. Galaxy clinging onto life by a thread.
Yeah, only 14 HP available. And credit to Tomas, he's played this so well. He has survived for so long, and he's got the respect of NUIG. They haven't just ran him down. They know that the Glock, especially up close, can be devastating, and now this is very winnable for Tomas. Galaxy's only on 14 HP, and he's going to have to peek. Oh! What's he done that for? Oh my god. Tomas with an absolutely absurd performance in the opening pistol round for UCC. Evan, I am just lost for words. I don't know how that happened, but Tomas somehow made it work.
the pistol god himself. I threw my hands into the air there and I accidentally unplugged my headset, so I missed some of what you said. But what a play from Tomas. That's the second pistol round clutch he's had. Huge. It's going to be a 5v5 on the A bomb site right here. This is going to be what they call a meat grinder. One hand wonder will get a filthy pistol kill here. 2 UCC players have fallen to the USPs right now, but Salty will smell the rat in Palace. And it's just one hand wonder left to get his head removed by Sean. And UCC will pick up their second round. Moving into the third round, they will hold on to the 2 AKs they had and 1 MAC-10.
Yeah, I think that's a net success for UCC. Winning the round was obviously the objective, but also keeping as many players alive as possible, also a nice little bonus. It's going to be a huge investment from NUIG in round number 3. This time, yet again, Kurt is on the glass cannon up. This time he has got absolutely nothing else to his name. No flashbangs. Just his up and a dream coming into round number 3. The rest of his team faring a little bit better, but as the time goes on in this round, they're really going to notice that lack of utility. They will not have the retake potential if UCC manage to gain control of one of these sites. Opening shot from Sean, not quite going to connect, but Thomas on the opposite side takes the glass cannon up, out. Kurt not even able to fire a shot before he goes down, and that is the worry about playing such a high risk, high reward position. This is just an absolute... I was going to say something very unreasonable there, but for the most part, this is a very one-sided round from UCC. NUIG, they haven't had a sniff at this round at all, Evan, and on paper, they arguably had just as good of a buy. Tomas has now also retrieved that up, as if it wasn't bad enough. And here we go. UCC on for a third round in a row. Paul, just the M4 remaining, and he is running away. He's got the defuse kit. He could, in theory, go for an exit or maybe a late defuse if they decide to exit the site early, but I think UCC are too experienced for that.
I think he's thought the better of it. I thought for a second there he was going to push up and try something perhaps a little spicy, but he's thought against it and he's just going to hold on to his smoke, his flash, his kit, his armor, and his M4 and take it into the 4th round. UCC just picked up their 3rd round if you're just tuning in on the 2nd map of this best of 2. Having picked up the first map themselves, 16-9. NUIG now forced onto a pretty, an eco round with just the 1 M4 as well. And UCC, pretty good setup across the board. Full util, 3 AKs, M4, and 1 AWP, which looks like it's going to be going towards the ramp position, if I'm not mistaken. Sean will get the opening kill onto Curtin middle, through the edge of that wall. He will take a bit of damage in return, but that's not too much of a concern against the long-range Deagle. Like over at the A ramp, however. Standard smokes coming in, top stairs, CT. Actually, CT, only one half of the CT smokes. Sean will spot out Galaxy, hiding in the sneaky ninja position. And Salty will take out Paul OG, falling out of the window. And it's just one hand wonder left in CT spawn. 5 people to find, and Otter says, nope, try again tomorrow, brother.
Okay.
Takes the head off him.
Okay, Otter. No need for that now. Crisp shot. Lovely play from the UCC captain. And honestly, Evan, I'm kind of getting concerned for NUIG now. I need to see something special in this buy round. I really, really do. Because not only have UCC got a 4-0 advantage in the opening rounds of the map, just like they did on Train, but this time it's on another level. This is an absolute whitewash from the Cork side. They have barely even dropped a man so far in these rounds, bar the opening pistol round. This has been so clinical from them. They've just dispatched each and every NUIG contact that they come into with ease. Just the shots seem to be landing. It just all seems to be going in their favor. NUIG really need to show up big here. They need to gain that respect back from UCC because they are just absolutely manhandling them at the moment. And that's not going to stop unless they stop it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. UCC have one thing here that NUIG don't have currently, and that is confidence. The confidence we're seeing on UCC is they just charge onto the bomb sites, take mid-control with barely even using any util, and they're winning these fights. It's something NUIG are going to have to figure out a way to deal with. And I think it stems from having won that first map. They beat them once, they know they can do it again. Lovely shot from Thomas through the edge of that smoke.
What was that?
Decides to look behind him and said, night night Galaxy. Although, one hand wonder, what is this? He just picks up a triple kill? Suddenly
Evan.
it's a 2 versus 2.
What is this round?
This is beautiful Counter-Strike. And somehow UCC come out on top there. At first I thought this was an easy round for them. Then I thought NUIG had it. And Tomas 180s, and then One Hand Wonder gets 3 kills when I blinked.
Yeah, that was.
It's very rude for the casters, to be
I
honest.
know, right? Yeah, it's just they just don't care about us at all. You know, it's like Guess Who almost 50-50. Put it all on green. But UCC still maintain their clean sheet. 5-0. NUIG. They almost went the distance in that last round, but they fell at the final hurdle, and that's just not good enough at this point in time. They're slowly but surely running out of rounds in this first half, and they've yet to string any sort of consistent momentum together. This is not the NUIG that we saw on Train, and it's definitely not the NUIG that we saw on the T side of Train. I want to see this teamwork. I want to see these set flashbangs. I want to see the aggression and the peaks, but again, it's a similar problem as the last map. They don't have the money, and 2, like you said, Evan, they don't have the confidence. This is like a totally different roster from what we've seen before, and UCC are going to continue to exploit that if they're allowed.
Absolutely. Another factor I think might come into play here is that Train, if we remember, was NUIG's pick. This is UCC's map pick. Although it is not their favorite map, it's still their choice. And they showed what they can do on Train, and now that they are confident choosing this map over NUIG, I think they're in a comfortable driving spot right now. It's a 4v4 right now. Never mind, it's a 4v3 right now as Kurt just removes Sean from the game. He will get another tag on Tomas, and he will get another headshot onto Tomas as Otter takes him out. And it's a 2 versus 2 right now as Otter gets his second kill. He is on for an ace in this round. Perhaps we will see it. Darkness still has to cross with the bomb. Polo G waiting in CT with that AK will get the kill onto Otter. Try and spam that smoke to land the kill onto Darkness, but he cannot find it. Darkness taking the aggressive peek. Will tag One Hand Wonder down to nothing, and through the smoke he will take out Polo G, but One Hand Wonder finished him off and takes away that highlight reel from Kurt, or from Darkness. That was a very good try for UCC to bring that back, but an excellent round from NUIG to get that first round on the board. That was nearly a full eco for them.
That was something else. I had my head in my hands when I saw Darkness hop up onto the box. That was such a risky peek to take. He knew that there was one AK available, and that was towards CT. He just somehow finds the spray through the smoke. The vac spam will be mighty, as they say. But he was so unlucky. I mean, if he was able to survive that first deagle shot and even get the beginning of his spray off, there's a chance that he wins that round. And luckily for NUIG, he was tagged low enough that the single deagle body shot was enough to take him out. But NUIG, that was very, very close to a 6-0 scoreline, and now they really have to capitalize on this momentum. They have to take the fight to UCC and take some of that confidence away.
Absolutely, you're dead right. And I think they've just picked up a free up from that as that grenade just fired the weapon across the map towards Triple Box. It's somewhere near Red King there. That was a very crisp shot coming out from Red King to take Otter out at the very start there. 5v4 now as some BAPS control will be taken back by NUIG by the looks. Bees are moving towards the B bomb site. It's looking like they're going to finish B here. Well, that being said, they are working underpass. Seeing what they can make happen there.
Lovely shot from Paul to take out Tomas. Not quite quick enough to find the second, but as time slowly ticks down, I'd imagine NUIG need to smell a rat towards the B bomb site. Oh, Salty, what was that headshot? How did he even see him? One Hand Wonder held on strong the last time, and now it's an absolute clown fiesta with that spray between both players as neither convert the kill. Salty is still towards short, but Red King holding strong, realizing he did not want to give up that short position, and NUIG put a second round on the board. What a time to do so, Evan. They've really turned up big, and this is what we wanted to see.
I think One Hand Wonder over on that B bomb site, in that backside position, that is something we're going to have to look out for there. He got that one kill on the player pushing out, and that probably decided the round right there and then. That was such a crucial frag, and he was able to grab it in the midst of a rush. That's not even talking about what he did in the 2 rounds previously, where he just got that snap of the finger 3k. He picked up a genie lamp and he just wished for 3 kills, and he got him.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, big performance from the man himself, but still a ways to go before they can be considered, I should say, back in this game. It's 5-2 in favor of the Cork team, and they're showing no signs of stopping. Their momentum has been quelled for now, and NUIG have somewhat weathered the storm, but they're not out of the woods yet, and they're far from it. They need to keep this pace up. UCC are going to be very explosive out onto the A bomb site here. Will the rotate come in fast enough? There's already 3 players here, and the rotate is coming up through connector. Sean will trade one back as Red King finds a double. There is a gap in that smoke that they've got to be careful of, though, and they can't afford to push through. So many UCC players still on the opposite side, but Galaxy has been activated. They didn't check Sandwich. Darkness goes down, leaving Otter with Justin up, and he's got to be careful. He has to back away from this one. 40 seconds left. Not a hope does he want to re-peak from Palace yet again. He will just hold on to the AWP, but that's another round from NUIG. They figured out the system, Evan.
They have indeed, and they've really sort of taken control of these last couple of rounds just purely from individual plays that have worked out, with Red King there getting 2 beautiful kills in the blink of an eye. Sure, it looks like he's just gonna cling to life in the B apartments with the last 10 seconds, but this is much better from NUIG now. They've got the rifles in their hands, they're finding the kills when they need to. Individually, they're popping off, and UCC are going to need to figure out something to sort of deal with to shut down these individual shining players, which is something they actually struggled with in the first map as well. The rounds they lost was the likes of Kurt and Paulo G and One Hand Wonder just getting frags in the middle of nowhere. So perhaps we'll see more crossfires and more passive play coming out from UCC in response to this now. They do have a pretty weak buy coming into the 9th round now. 3 Deagles, the saved up, and a single AK.
Seems to be the case as we get into round number 9. And to note, as we just take a quick look at the scoreboard, the kills have been very evenly distributed across the teams for both sides. One player on each team lagging a little bit behind, but still contributing in other ways via utility and a couple of impact kills here and there. But as opposed to Train, it was very much so Otter for UCC held up by Tomas. They were really leading the way in terms of frags, and then obviously Kurt and Paulo G had a fantastic Train. But now things have definitely evened out across the board, and as we can see from these early rounds, both teams really need to rely on their teammates quite a bit more, and there's not any one player in particular that you would point as a standout, but that is a standout shot from Sean. Can he get away though? It looks like he can't, and Kurt finds 2 for his troubles. Salty will trade, and now Darkness has come alive. Oh dear. The bait and switch from UCC, their attention was all focused on mid, and that allowed Darkness to just walk out for free. And as a Palace player, that's exactly what you want. Easy pickings for him. The bomb goes down, and from the ashes, UCC pull a round out of the bag. Unless One Hand Wonder coming from the B site. Every B site Mirage player's worst nightmare, walking into a retake, and Otter says no. No shenanigans on the A site, and a 6th round for UCC.
And a 10th kill for Otter as he leads the server in terms of frags now. 10 kills to his name, only 5 deaths, a 2.0 KD. He is really one of the highlight players of this best of 2 so far. He's been absolutely fragging his mind out. Huge impact as well all across the server. He's going to be the deciding factor in UCC sort of keeping their control here. Keeping control of the match as a whole. Kurt though will get a kill onto Thomas, and Paul gets one onto Salty, but Sean will trade out that kill in mid as he takes out Kurt. It's a 4v3 now. Red King gets Darkness, but Sean finds Paul through the edge of that smoke, leaving just the 2 T's in the middle. Try and see if they can take.
Interesting position from the second UCC player. I'm not sure why they felt the need to go that deep into mid, especially with no cover. We all know smokes don't block bullets. and he will pay the ultimate price for it. Can NUIG hold on long enough to make this round a reality? The bomb is deep within enemy territory. Otter does have the signature AWP in hand. One hand. Oh, beautiful peek. Look at that crisp shot. And he takes all the remaining forces for UCC out. That is 6-4. We're coming into round number 11. And now that we've had some time to digest the start of this game, Evan, how do you see the rest of this half going? Can UCC keep the momentum up? Or will NUIG slowly but surely claw their way back in?
I would normally in this situation say that NUIG are probably likely to get a couple of rounds here, but we have seen some incredible eco rounds from UCC. Just the ability to find kills onto a bomb site in the blink of an eye, and suddenly it's a 5 versus 2.
What is going on? Oh no. Eventually, Sean goes down. Salty has got 3 kills under his belt. He single-handedly cleared out each of those frags coming onto the site with a P250, Evan. With a gun that costs $350. And he's killed 3 people with a full buy. This is peak Irish CS.
Darkness will take out Polo G, and he's left. One Hand Wonder is just left on his own in a 1 versus 3 with like 15 to 10 seconds left on the clock. UCC have just ecoed, and they've won yet another round with 0 odds going into it. They consistently do this, and it's very impressive to watch.
I'm just at a loss for words. Like, I can't break that down. I can't do any analysis on that. If Salty wants to run out with a P250 and get 3... He's just tossed his M4 over to Darkness. I was hoping he was just going to keep the P250 and go again. But, like, no. He does pick up the AK. He'll take his trophy from the last round forward. And that was just something else. Are they doing the same thing again this time? Now it's NUIG with the pistols, Evan. What is happening in this game? How they've just killed Tomas? Like, what's going on? I'm losing my mind, but UCC, they will at least find 2 kills and restore some sort of normality to the round. The rifles reign supreme in the 3v3 that ensues now that the bomb has gone down. Control of the site in favor of the T side, but for how long?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. I'm losing my mind, but I have to say I'm loving every second of it. This is some very entertaining Counter-Strike. Salty, what a shot! Onto Red King, just rips the head off him. Polo G from the palace position will triple dink him before taking him out. The bomb will be tapped. He does have a kit. I don't think Otter is ready for that, as he will get Polo G, but One Hand Wonder will stick to defuse and take him out. That is a reverse eco. This is Inception levels of ecoing here. I can't keep up, Cardinal. I can't.
Yeah, the USPs come out on top in that round. NUIG, well, look, we've got to call a spade a spade. That was a fantastic retake, given what they had to work with. And that was a 3-on-3, remember. It wasn't like they just had to flush out one UCC player. They had 3 rifles to come up against, and they managed to make it work somehow. Otter, a little bit unlucky that he was left in a 1-on-2, especially the positioning of the bomb plant. And that's something that UCC do need to be aware of, because they could have planted in a different position. They had total control of the site, but unfortunately just a slight mishap. And that allows Otter no chance to actually contest the defuse. NUIG will pick up a 5th round. It is still UCC's half so far, but they're not out of this one yet. On the CT side now with 4 M4s, 1 AWP on Polo G, and this is looking much more like it.
This absolutely is 5 versus 3 here for NUIG, as Tomas will get killed through the edge of that smoke by Red King. 5 versus 2, correction. Kurt will drop that smoke on short, and although the T's have mid control, they don't really have much space to push out here. Salty is on death's door. We have no aggression coming out from the CTs. Like, oh, actually, they're pushing into Palace now, as I said that. But normally in this kind of a situation, you'd see sort of a deeper action. That being said, One Hand Wonder is actually pushed into B-Apps, which is, I'm a big fan of it. Kind of capitalizing off the fact that, you know, they have mid control. And it's just Salty. 18 HP to his name in a 1 versus 5. He's probably just going to try hold on to this AK here. Team very much need it with their economy in its current state.
I want to see him use the decoy. I want to see him use it. I don't know why he has one.
think I know exactly why he had one. He had 150 left over after buying his AK and armor and wanted to spend more.
Oh dear. He keeps onto it. He hangs on to the eco for, or the decoy, I should say, for now. And
We'll
also
see
brings his
something
AK forward.
NUIG now just one round behind UCC, as UCC opts to just keep it a very, very light buy. They'll have a very comfortable buy next round as a result, but it looks like it's just going to be a fast B play. And let's see if One Hand Wonder can pull out some one-tap wonders.
There's
First
the
kills
first.
will come out in favour.
Oh, this is...
A meat grinder. Yeah. Kurt takes 3, One Hand Wonder takes 2, and a very clean eco round all in all.
Yeah, to be fair, it looks quite messy, but NUIG mopped up the kill as well. Obviously, those fights can go either way, but to be fair, UCC, they have started to falter a little bit now. You know, if we looked back at the early rounds, it was, what, 5-0 at one point for UCC? And now we're 7-7. I mean, just to put that into context, if NUIG pick up this round, they'll have won the half after being so far back at the beginning of this game. This is something else, Evan.
It is. I can't help but feel like if NUIG worked on their pistol rounds just a little more, they could have a lot more early dominance in the halves. They haven't won a single pistol round this series, partially thanks to Tomas and his clutching abilities
True.
with that Glock and the USP. But if they had have won those pistol rounds or managed to close it out, this could be a very different game we'd be looking at here.
Still all up for grabs though. 7-7 and just over 60 seconds to decide who will take this half on Mirage. Will it be UCC on the T side, or can NUIG hold them off for one round longer? This is, excuse me, a very, very patient round from the T side, and what is a little bit disappointing to see is that the CTs haven't started pushing. They haven't started to creep forward and figure out this map control. How far can they go? And unfortunately, One Hand Wonder, he's not in a position to peek apps. He's playing underneath the window. So now as this attack comes out, they have no idea that there's so many players here to come onto the A site through the smoke with the flashbang. He couldn't see anything. Doing the flashbang dance, the first kill goes their way, but they haven't checked dark. And now Red King's gonna get 2 and 3. Can he go for more? But no. Salty and Sean now left in the 2-on-2. The rotate has come in quickly enough. They have to retrieve the bomb, and there's another kill. Kurt goes down. Both players for UCC are tagged very heavily. Oh, the first kill coming through from One Hand Wonder, but he can't get the next. And a 3k for Sean solidifies the half. 8-7 for UCC, and they just about clinch it right at the end.
That was a very entertaining round altogether. One Hand Wonder may be on the B bomb site, but they have Red King on that A, and he has had some huge rounds holding off that. Though that being said, UCC were quick on the draw and they were ready to fight back at just a moment's notice, and they did close out the round in their favour and the half in their favour now as they move on to the CT side.
This is going to be very, very interesting for me. NUIG, honestly, to me, looked better on the T side of Train than they did on the CT side. Now,
Agreed.
obviously, arguably, the CT side of Mirage is a little bit easier, especially at the lower tiers of play. There's an argument to be made, I think, you know, at that kind of tier 1 level of Counter-Strike, whether Mirage actually suits the T side more. Especially when they can establish mid-control really, really well. But at this kind of lower tier of Counter-Strike, I think just across the board, Evan, it's easier to sit back and let your opponents make the first move. And it's why it's so beautiful to see a very solid T-side from one of these teams. Like we've seen the likes of TUD in the past, obviously one of the most experienced teams in the tournament, and they just tear inexperienced teams apart on their T side. It's so crucial to win maps. However, UCC are on what we could argue is the easier side, but NUIG looked better on the T side of Train. Now, is that going to play a factor here in this pistol round as things start to kick off? Darkness with an easy shot as no one's looking forward. Kurt is just W keying into window and he goes down as well. This is uncoordinated, and they've only found one kill. Now Paul in the advanced position towards CT, not able to find the kill, and now they realize that both players are here. Look at the movement from the CTs. They're swarming the bomb site, and Salty just has to stay alive. Now they know where Paul is. They're going to stick the defuse, and that should be it. He's got a Molotov. What is that Molotov? Oh, he's yeeted that towards the site, but unfortunately for them, it's too little, too late. And actually, wasn't far off. I think, yeah, it was actually quite close to the bomb. Fair play, but very uncoordinated from NUIG. And Evan, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think if these guys could sort out their pistol rounds, they would be a very formidable team.
Yeah, Tomas didn't even need to peek his head in there. They just picked it up there with a nice clean retake. It was pretty unfortunate that the two NUIG players that were left alive, neither of them had armor. Which definitely did not play in their favor. But they have opted to force into this with 3 Galils and 2 MAC-10s because they did get that bomb plant. They also have a significant amount of utility, which will certainly help them as they charge onto this B bomb site. Darkness takes a lot of damage, but that XM is lethal in this close range position. He takes the head off of Kurt, but Redkin trades him out as Redkin gets a second onto Sean on short, and that should be the B bomb site. Otto will pick Galaxy crossing from short, as it now falls into a 3 versus 3. NUIG very low on HP, and the bomb is still not down.
Nine to 7. Bomb has gone down. But HP for NUIG is very, very dodgy. All the players tagged considerably heavy. They have to be clinical with these shots, and they're not. It's the HP advantage that it comes down to. And even though UCC had arguably inferior weaponry, when most of your players are under 50 HP, it doesn't really matter too much. Even SMGs at range are going to be lethal. 1 or 2 bullets is all that stands between you and death. And it's all that stood between UCC and a 10th round as they finally hit double digits. And I don't want to say we're looking at a repeat of Train, but NUIG need to sort out this T-side.
They do indeed. I want to see some executes from them. I want to see some fakes. I want some big brain plays. And hopefully we will get to see it. Perhaps a little too early to tell. That being said, they will take out Otter and Palace and get a free MP9. Or ripe for the picking. And Molotov will fly in so comfortably. Focus on ramp here, where there are 3 NUIG players. Eagles in hand. The bomb is isolated in Palace, however. That could be detrimental.
Red King is playing with oh, excuse me? Excuse me? What? I don't think I've ever seen a shot with a MAC-10 like that, and Sean mows down 2 for free. Oh dear, Sean with 3 kills under his belt in the blink of an eye, now leaving Red King, who's done work with this SMG, but he's not going to beat out an M4, not at that range. Salty mops that one up, and the spacing from NUIG as they pushed out, they made the correct call, they checked the position, but when your teammate's standing in front of you, you may as well not be there. You can't shoot, or you're just going to deal damage, and it allows an easy SMG mop-up from Sean. That's a huge round from him, and now he's equaled Otter in kills, Evan. This is a big come-up from the UCC man.
Absolutely, he's been absolutely popping off now. A bit of an unfortunate smoke in the middle there as someone just chucks their smoke at the wall in T-spawn. Paul, I believe it was. So the UCC have hard of mid-control here. The op will be in the window. We will spot out Red King in the lower tunnel's position. Molotov wants to keep him out. I imagine we're going to see some sort of a flash come over from A here. Perhaps a peek from short in retaliation. Apparently not. The CTs are just comfortable enough to give up middle here now. NUIG going to decide what their next move is going to be. One player towards ramp. Otter will smoke him out though.
$50 seconds left, Evan, and very little map control established for the T side. Minor damage been inflicted across the board, but based on the weaponry alone, NUIG should have the advantage. But when they've left it so late with just over 30 seconds left. They're going to have to force their way onto one of these sites. They're burning through all their utility. A few flashbangs remain. And Tomas landing that first shot means he's not flushed out of his position. And now he is the smoke criminal. Look at Kurt. He's just looking straight into the smoke. They know he's there, but they haven't checked Sean. They have to land their shots, and they've done just about enough to secure the site for a plant. Salty is coming through hard and fast. Is he going to push through that? Oh dear, you're not going to get away with that one. Control of the site had already been established, and now Darkness against the AK. Kurt cleans it up with a 3k, and that was the Kurt and Galaxy show. All frags in that round between those two players for Galway.
That's the Kurt we know from map 1, getting those frags right when NUIG need them most. That is going to be NUIG's first round of this half, and it's getting them within reaching distance of UCC here, especially that UCC, well, I was going to say especially because UCC are on the eco, but I mean, we know that doesn't really account for much for UCC. This could very well be their rounds to take, through no fault of NUIG, just through UCC's absolute sheer luck when it comes to eco rounds.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Oh, there's a quick shot. He does actually, I want to say, did get tagged by the Desert Eagle from Tomas, but such an awkward angle to try and find the head when you're on top of ticket booth like that from the CT side. It's very high risk, but a lovely shot from the AWP to find form. Only 2 defenders now remain, and one of them is very far away from home on this A-bomb site. Shot with the CZ. I mean, that, you just got to give credit. Taking that kind of fight with the CZ is ambitious, I think, is probably the best way I could put it. Leaving Sean now with that AK-47, and he's just going to try and bring that into the next round. But crucially, NUIG have now started to equal the scoreline much before UCC are looking at ending the game, and this is the difference between Mirage and Train.
It is indeed. A for effort for UCC there, especially that CZ on short. He has to do something, and he very nearly stopped that bomb from going down, which could have made a potentially different outcome, could have done more economic damage to NUIG, but it was not to be, however, as NUIG do close out the round relatively cleanly and build up a fair bit of economy for themselves here as well to fall back on. UCC, they have a buy, they have 4 rifles and a FAMAS. Not so hot in the utility department, however. If NUIG are to try and take map control somewhere, UCC are probably better off to just give it up in this kind of a scenario.
Yeah, and I think I agree. Especially after the eco round with Desert Eagles didn't really work out the way you'd wanted. It was pretty done and dusted from NUIG. I think there's a call to be made for just a second eco. Yes, you would give NUIG another round, but on the CT side, if you start to run out of money and you start to make these almost panic buys with SMGs and FAMASs, when you don't have that AWP and armor and all the util you need to hold off T side, you can kind of just drain yourself dry going into the last couple of rounds of the map, and that's what happened to NUIG on Train. And the same could happen to UCC here on Mirage, as NUIG, again, look at this, look at these setups, look at these nades and flashbangs. NUIG just seems so much more comfortable on the T side of both maps tonight, Evan.
Is it Christmas? I asked for fakes from NUIG, and we've got one here. They were rotating towards the B bomb site, and it just charged out onto A. Although Sean will get one into Kirk, Galaxy trades him out as Darkness burns Galaxy. His last breath. And somehow Tomas gets one into One Hand Wonder here. And Red King burns Tomas in response. And it's a 2v2 now. The bomb is not down, but it is on the bomb site in control of the counter-terrorists. Great nade onto Darkness there. Red King will find him. Salty swings out to trade it, and Paul needs to make something happen quickly. Only 5 seconds left on the clock.
He's won the round.
Needs to go for the kill. He's won it. Yep, he's done it.
I'm not sure why Salty's holding this position here. He's got the Tech 9. Oh my lord. Paul, he was so close. Another 2 seconds and he wins the round. Salty made the correct choice, but oh dear, did he put me on the edge of my seat. That was so unfortunate from NUIG, and that's the first time, Evan, that we've seen this strategy of let the clock burn down. Very Na'Vi-esque strategy of go all in on a site with 40 seconds remaining, and that time it really bit them in the backside.
I respect the idea. The flashes came over towards the B bomb site, but UCC looked like they wanted to rotate there. I think 1 or 2 players did, but they they seem to think better of it. Perhaps they heard footsteps in Palace or ramp. Just the wrong players in the wrong position there. Early round there, if they want to kind of pull that off, they need to clear out closer ramp, then pull out the B fake, and then go back to A. But I love the idea behind it anyway. It looks like it is going to be another A hit from NUIG, as Red King does fall to Sean. Stealthily will walk out.
Yeah, he gets to walk out for free, and I don't think anybody spotted him. That means Otter's crosshair placement might be a little bit off. If they double peek him, especially versus the FAMAS, they really have that fight. And look at this push from Darkness. Nobody holding top mid for the T side. We do see Paul moving back with that AWP, but that means he's not there to support his team as they make their move onto the site. 2 players on B for the CTs, but one of them is rotating over very, very quickly. Kurt has to land that shot, and now Paul, he's not there to support. They're not going to push through the smoke, which will give him time to get the T ramp. But this is very, very scary for NUIG. They are really taking so many risks in this round. The swings coming out. UCC know they have the man advantage, and their spacing is just so well done, leaving Paul on his own. He does get 1 kill, but the odds that he takes on everybody here and wins is just slim and none. And all of a sudden, we are starting to look at a very, very similar scoreline to Train, and it was from this scoreline that UCC closed it out.
It is indeed. I think what NUIG might have been better doing there was just falling off A there. They knew it. UCC were just ready and waiting, hidden in the bushes and the shadows, ready for them to pop out onto the bomb site. Ooh, nearly a crisp shot from one hand wonder there onto Sean, but he only just hits into the edge of the wall. But yeah, NUIG perhaps reluctant to rotate there. Tomas, filthy kill onto Kurt.
No chance for a refrag when you peek like that, and Sean, he doesn't realize it, but he's very lucky that he jumped when he was moving across T-ramp. Otherwise, that could have been his demise. Darkness with the Krieg, not a weapon we see too much of anymore, but he will find himself another kill. This has been a very easy round for UCC so far. They still have their default positions held for the most part, and they have 2 players towards B, which is where NUIG want to push the envelope now going forward. No AWP available. Paul is going to be relegated to a scout, and Sean is unfortunately not in 1-shot range from the scout. So this, if the CTs play their cards right, should be a 14th round. Their time is running out, their utility is totally gone, and now they're left with 2 pistols and a dream.
Galaxy with the lock left in pass position. He will fall to Sean. Second headshot of the round. And Sean absolutely having a game this one. 23 and 17 to him. 5 MVPs. 6 on Otter. 2 of them are... they're certainly doing their part for UCC here, as UCC pick up their 14th round. And again, similar to Train, NUIG need to start thinking about just getting rounds on the board. Less concerned for the economy, less concerned for slower map control. They just need to rush, get that bomb down, and hopefully do well in the after plants, because the pressure is on for them here now.
14-9, and it is time for NUIG to step it up. They have altered at the final hurdle on Train when they needed to pull rounds out of the bag, and we do not want to see a repeat of that here. UCC are poised to take this second map, and they are 2 rounds away from doing so. Execute is coming through. NUIG have rehearsed this. They know what they're doing, Evan, but they just haven't been able to land the kills. The hold from UCC has been too strong time and time again. But this is all about to kick off here on the A site. There's so many players. They've swarmed the bomb site. Otter is making the correct call. He's been tagged up and he's going to fall back. Serious damage inflicted to both Red King and One Hand Wonder, but no frags either way yet. As time goes on and this utility starts to expire, this is going to swing back in favor of UCC. But who's going to land the shots when it matters most? There's Kurt with the first big performer from UCC time and time again, and a double kill coming through as Galaxy and Paul find more frags. But Darkness is there with one. Actually, he does have a frag grenade left, and both Red King and One Hand are very low, but the bomb is ticking ever closer. I think they've just decided, yeah, there's no point. They're just gonna back it off. They know they've got the round advantage, but boy, was that close.
Yeah, great stuff from NUIG there. They were very, very quick on the draw on the day execute, and it was very, very solid. They knew the holes in the smoke, and they were waiting for the UCC players to peek behind them, so they could rip the heads off them. Much better stuff from them as they pick up their 10th round. The first time they've been in double digits this series, so that's pretty good for them. And they do have a round of I suppose, leeway here to play with as well. So if they can just build up a bit of economy here while keeping UCCs under control, they have some very good opportunities here. That being said, Otter, through the edge of that smoke on ramp, just absolutely destroys One Hand Wonder. Didn't even get a fair chance in this round.
No, can't even shoot back. That is the power of the AWP in Counter-Strike. Time and time again, Otter landing those crucial shots when it matters most. And unfortunately for NUIG, just as it was on Train, those are two big trading blows from Red King and Otter. Neither player has been taken out, but as I was saying, unfortunately for NUIG, they are running out of attempts here. They need to start putting these rounds together. They've had everything they've needed to do so, Evan. But unfortunately, having the kit and utility... Oh dear, Paul. Oh, he's got to be so careful. 9 HP left due to the Molotov. 10 to 14 in favor of the defending side, UCC Rebels. NUIG, they need to prove a point, and I'm not quite sure if they're up for it. Not in this round anyway, given how low everybody is.
Chipped away and chipped away like a hammer against wood. It is pretty rough for them in this tough spot. And they're so spread out as well. Although they do have mid control, they do have ramp control, they're opting to give up their B apps control, which is fair enough if they're aiming to finish A here. Only 20 seconds on the clock, and the CTs still have 3 smokes to their names and a plethora of flashbangs. Tomas, easy kill into Galaxy, the only full HP player. Second kill onto Kurt was crisp. Sean gets one at ramp, and it's just Polo G left with the AWP at the very back of Palace. He's just going to want to try and hold on to that and drop one of his teammates next round. If my maths is correct, NUIG should get a decent buy this round.
I think
One
so.
player won't have anything.
Yeah, luckily for Paul, bringing that up forward, he doesn't have any money, but he does at least have enough for utility, so they will have a decent buy. But honestly, Evan, I'm not going to point the finger at anyone in particular, but NUIG have had a better buy than this and not been able to put the round to bed. And that's what worries me here, because now UCC are on map point and they're looking to go 2-0 in their opening game of this tournament. And I don't see anything from NUIG that's going to stop them.
Absolutely. UCC have just been so solid, especially on their CT side in this series so far in general. But yeah, their T side has been great, but their CT side is what's really impressed me. They've been adapted to what NUIG were doing right and played perfect Counter-Strike to deal with it. And I think NUIG have kind of found themselves in a tough spot here. Otter, great frag onto Galaxy, and it is just crumbling apart for NUIG. It's just One Hand Wonder left in a 1 versus 4. Otter spots him in the lower tunnel position. CTs do have bomb control. One Hand Wonder has it all to play for.
I don't want to count anyone out, but this is going to be a very difficult round to come back into. Look at where the CTs are positioned. They are on top of the bomb. Unless One Hand Wonder has a 1 round wonder, which he's done the first half of. He's taken the first 2 players out, but he needs to find more, and it's going to be very difficult shots here, especially up against Darkness, given that Krieg, he has the extra range advantage. Smoke being deployed. He's got all the pieces to the puzzle that he needs. He's going to force Darkness out of position. Has to imagine that Otter is underground. Nobody there. Is he going to peek it? He jumps at the wrong moment, and Sean is there to seal the deal. Just like that, UCC managed to win the second map 16-10, but it was close. 16-10. NUIG put up a good fight, but unfortunately for One Hand Wonder, it was just a little bit too much to ask for a 1v4 to keep his team in the game, Evan.
Absolutely, and fair play to One Hand Wonder. He gave that his all. He played very well in that last round and previous rounds coming up to that. I think he was the difference maker in a lot of NUIG's rounds, much like Polo G and Kurt were in the first game, One Hand Wonder and Red King were in the second hand. But on UCC, everybody was just doing their parts. Like Salty doing huge stuff on the B-bomb site there. Darkness consistently fragging out on retakes. Otter just wherever he is on the map, AWP in his hands, and he's going to be at the top of the scoreboard. Sean doing huge parts, and Tomas with his absolutely huge clutches. I think this scoreline does reflect how this game went, and UCC fully deserved this win.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. NUIG have to go back to the drawing board, and I think if it was me, the main points I'd be looking at would be our pistol rounds and converting in rounds where they have the advantage when they pick up those early kills. They showed great potential, and I think they themselves know exactly what they're going to have to focus on going into the rest of this CSGO tournament, Evan. But other than that, congratulations again to UCC. They will pick up the 2-0 in this opening match, and I'm sure they will be very, very happy with their own performance going forward. Other than that, Evan, I think that's all from ourselves.
I think it is. Thank you very much for having me, Cardinal.
Not a problem whatsoever. So, ladies and gents, thank you very, very much for tuning in, whether you watched both series or just the last series of the night between UCC and NUIG. That's been all from both myself, Cardinal, and Evan. We will see you next Wednesday for more Counter-Strike, and if you're here tomorrow, that will be for our League of Legends stream. So other than that, peace. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, and have a good night.
How